this worked. let's go to the iPad and find out. Sorry, it's how we always start. You'll know this by now. Usually I get a link when I've gone live. It comes up and says it's live in your channel right now, which is a good reason to subscribe and click the notification button and stuff, if nothing else. It's so that you get told exactly the same thing. But it's not coming through. Downloading 7 of 7. What's the Wi-Fi like here? Maybe I just need to go into the app. Anywhere? Nope, still not that time. Still not that time. Sorry folks, I'll be right with you. Right, YouTube. Want to search for me. How are you? Did you had a good week? Well, let's just do some chit chat while we're getting to go. All right, there we go. I can see. There's Tech Toby. Hi. Hi. Was that because you were worried about where I was? Yeah, so was I, to be honest. I'll explain in a second. I assume you can hear me. I assume you can see me. Let me know if you can't. If you just kind of see. I mean, I can see me, so I'm assuming that's fine. It's the hearing part, especially as being I had a last minute. Oh, there it is. The clip from my microphone fell off. Did it snap? Oh no, it snapped. Didn't fall, it was pushed. So I had to run in and find another one. So Tech Toby can see me, good. Well, that's a bit worrying, can you hear me? My little meter's flashing up and down, but not very high. Hang on. I wonder if that's better. What did you say? Can hear you but quiet. So hopefully, I've just put the volume up, so I'm hoping you can hear me a bit better now. Let me know if you can. It was, yeah, it's pretty much, it's not quite peaking, but it's, there you go. Tobias says much better now. I'm also in a little bit of a whisper, because, not whisper, but I'm not talking with my usual gusto because I'm outside and I don't know whether, I don't think my neighbours are through the fence are sitting there, but it's CBDB, good, she's saying yes as well. So, how long have we got? About 8 minutes, that's all right, I can pontificate and chat away for 8 minutes. So basically, look at this, I'm completely overexposed, the sun's hitting off my peely-wally Scottish skin because there's a big yellow thing in the sky and I can feel my bones straighten the longer I sit out in it. So I thought I'd drag the machine out into the garden and, into the driveway to be honest, and row here and prove that sun does sometimes come to Scotland. Not often, but it does sometimes come to Scotland. The only thing is that the sun's like literally up there, so I can't see the screen or anything when it comes to connecting rowers and stuff. So, usual setup. I've got my iPad down to the side for YouTube stuff. My phone is running EXR, and my Mac is doing the streaming in case you care. Right, and then connect the old row. I wonder whether it's worthwhile flicking this to, 1 second. Right, I'm just going to go with rower data. Because last week when I did this, I was complaining a little bit about how I was going a lot slower when I went to the extra split. So it'll shut me up from complaining if nothing else. Row indoor on my watch, and it should pop up, Epix Pro, yeah. Don't have my MyZone on today, couldn't find it. Finish setup. Okay, event is starting. Do you want to go? Yeah. I just hope that, is that in? Phone might still be in the sun, so do worry whether it's going to overheat or not, but who knows. Anyway, there we go. So, ta-da! Look at all the people here tonight. Okay, so 78, and it's summer. Do you think that maybe you're all outside in your driveway or garden or whatever, and you're rowing as well in the sun. But still, the fact it's summer and 78 people are, then it does show, if nothing else, that these 5 o'clock UK time ones, which help bring in more people from around the world and a big warm rowing hug, it works because there's more people this week than there was last week. So, and I know there's a little bit of disappointment for some people who prefer the 9 o'clock in the morning one, but I was completely missing all the people that were available for now, so I'd rather have more people in. So where are we then? We are on Bled, aren't we? Lake Bled. doesn't give you any. No, it doesn't give you any kind of route thing. But I think that's where we are. I don't know whether it's one of the longer ones. To be honest, I don't know what it is. So, quick kind of. Well, not announcement, kind of like, you know, when you go to the theatre or whatever and they say, right, we aren't planning any fire alarms or anything. Well, it's kind of the opposite, not the opposite, but here I'm outside, so there's a good chance the dog's going to bark or the kid's going to start crying or, I don't know, or the cat's going to kind of run out who's sitting on the other side of the camera desperate to get in on shot. And at one point, actually, the family have to go swimming, so you'll hear a car driving away at one point. So being outside is lovely, but it does bring its challenges. In fact, you'll find kind of from making my RowAlong videos, for the past couple of years, I haven't made any outside because I was just, every time I went out, something would happen. A plane would fly over, or like I say, dogs or kids, or so in the studio I can control everything. So that's what it comes down to. Sitting outside in the sun, one of the most important things you can do is hydrate anyway, but certainly when you're outside. So I've slapped on a whole bunch of suntan cream as well to make sure that my little blue skin doesn't go a slightly redder tone of blue. Hang on. So, half-hour row is normal. And I think I'll do what I normally do as well, whereas start off nice and gentle as a warm-up, get the body moving, get into the flow of things, and then kind of hit that kind of round about 5 out of 10 effort from an RPE point of view, or 20 strokes a minute at round about 2K plus 18 to 20, which is kind of similar to zone 2 heart rate, but like I say, every week they start to kind of separate, where zone 2, if your heart rate will start to climb. So you can't, if you're just like holding the same pace the whole time, you'll just get cardiac drift. So it's not quite the same time. Starting pace might be around about the same time if you want to kind of aim for that. But anyway, that's the Toby, I use your RowAlong dress code in EXR now. Oh, great! So you actually got yourself all kitted up as. So yeah. So if you do these group rows, you unlock the oars and the unisuit, which I'd love to get a version of that. Even the top as like a real life top. I'll have to check where. The Stuck at Home Rowing Club through COVID, they created their own shirts, and I want to see who made it and whether they do one-off things, and then I'll get like the RowAlong one, the EXR one made for me. Yeah, so anyway, so it's gentle row after kind of like 5 minutes of easing into it, and then when we hit the sprints, maybe do the sprints. Depends whether the sun comes out. So we've got about a minute and a half to go. Like I say, make sure if you're in any kind of warm, any time, even pre-row regardless, hydrate, okay? It's important. It's just, if only for like from a performance point of view, the amount of times that you find you're rowing a long session, you haven't stopped for water because you don't really when you're rowing. Then towards the end of it, your performance starts to really tank. And usually, like, people are like, oh, it's because I'm so unfit. But chances are it's a hydration thing rather than it being all about fitness. I'm quite overexposed, aren't I? Yeah, whatever. What does it matter? The clematis, however, is up here. That's beautifully exposed. So that's the most important part. Right, where are we? 50 seconds to go. I'm going to have a drink after saying all that. Oh. And there is about, I don't know, I'm trying to see, about 5 or 6 second delay between EXR and YouTube. So if you are doing the YouTube thing, just kind of bear that in mind, okay? Right, where are we? 20 odd seconds to go. Oh, my handle's all the way. So this is the downside. See the people that say don't put the handle in the hook in between rows. See, when you do leave it all the way up at the throat, if you want to call it that, it means it's there, you're strapped in and you have to try and reach forward to get it. 10 seconds to go. Oh, in fact, no, 3, 2, I've done it again. 1, go. I did exactly the same thing last week, where I was too busy looking at the YouTube output, and because of that 5 or 6 second delay, I'm sitting here going, oh, it's 10 seconds to go, and then actually there was only 3 seconds to go. At least that tells us what the delay is. So, right now it's me and that BJ at the front, but I'm sure people are going to catch up with us in a sec. So this is a nice gentle kind of 2 minutes 10 pace just to ease my body into. Remember, everybody's different, okay? Unless you're actually rowing like at an Olympic level where everyone is kind of plus or minus a few seconds when it comes to 2Ks, then everyone is going to be different. There's going to be people today who will be down at like 155 pace, smashing today's row. There'll be people down at 255 pace who are working just as hard as the 155 people. So, yes, pace ultimately matters in terms of races and things, but don't stress too much about it. So what I'm saying is that if 2:10 for me is a very gentle pace, 2:10 for you could possibly be maximum pace. But it doesn't matter. As long as you are getting the workout you need, that's what matters. I kind of say the same about rowing machines as well. In fact, I posted something on the Facebook group yesterday about different rowing machines, like the really cheap ones. If it's a choice between, I'm not doing the sprint by the way, if it's a choice between a cheap and nasty rowing machine or not doing any exercise, because you're like, I can't afford a Concept 2, therefore I can't row, therefore I won't exercise. I'd much rather you had the cheap and nasty one, and that will hopefully light a fire in you to start saving up to get something better. Because some exercise is always better than no exercise. And if you start to let equipment and tech limit you and kind of get in the way of your health, that's not a good thing. It's like when you're, like I was saying about not having my zone, my heart rate monitor. If I was like, oh, I don't have a my zone, so there's no point in me exercising today, that's a bit daft. Or if you go to the gym and all the rowing machines are taken, well, I didn't start my watch actually, then you wouldn't just turn around and walk away. You might go for a really short run while you wait for the machine to come free. Or even, I see a lot of people who get really wedded to apps when they row. Like if EXR is down, or if the ErgZone app is down, or ErgData, they're like, I don't know how to row. And that worries me. I mean, I'd love it if everybody, they could only ever row to a RowAlong video and therefore all my viewing numbers would skyrocket, but as much as apps and videos and things help when it comes to engaging you, they shouldn't be like a real key to your rowing. If you don't have your app running, you should still be able to climb onto the machine and bash out a half-hour row. Put on some music or something. You don't need to look at data in front of you or a digital rower. Okay, so coming up for 5 minutes after that opening rant. And let's do a quick technique rundown. Make sure that we're moving okay now that our bodies have hopefully opened up over that 5-minute intro. So start from the back of the stroke with your hands away. So nice and loose, arms away, nice and straight, which then triggers your upper body to tilt forwards over your hips. Whee, like that. So arms back. And once your arms are straight and your back is in that forwards tilt, that is when you bend your knees. Don't know if you can see, but take a look at my knees and you'll see they don't bend until my back is mostly tilted forwards, but my arms are definitely straight and well past my knees before they bend. And then make sure you are up on your sit bones as you do so, as you do that tilt forwards. And the momentum of the arms away from the forwards tilt should mean that all you have to do is bend your knees to go forwards. You shouldn't have to pull on the straps or anything to tug yourself forwards. And because your arms are straight and you're already in that forwards tilt, you're basically sliding forwards already in the perfect position for the next stroke. And then you slide until shins are vertical. Try not to go past, because that's when power leaks set in. And then keep arms straight and the forwards tilt. And the moment you hit those vertical shins, I just miss a sprint, possibly. That's when you push back out with the legs again, arms straight, forwards tilt, push, and push. Hold arms straight and forwards tilt until your legs are about halfway done, and then swing over your back and pull in your arms to a finish. And then go right back to the beginning again. Arms, back, legs, legs, back, arms. Simple. Right. Memory serves. There should be another sprint around the corner. Maybe not quite yet, looking at the mini map. But pretty soon there should be another one. And as long as I don't miss it, we'll go for it when it comes around. Because unless you're following a specific training plan, if you're just here for a just row, then you can kind of give yourself the best of both worlds by varying your intensity a bit, by rowing at steady pace for 4-5 minutes and then doing a short max burst before returning to that steady state again. Right, sprint's coming up, isn't it? Yeah, 100 meters. Let's go for it then. After this stroke, here we go. Ooh. Did I get PB? Well, what was my PB? Still though, 17:36, and I'm still 114th. Shows just how many fast rowers are here on EXR. Okay. So it's tempting to ease right back off the pace for an extended period after a sprint like that. But try to return to whatever your easy pace is. So for me, it's around about 2:05. So there we go. Took a bit longer to get down to 2:05 than I intended, but we're there now. But what I don't want you to do is to hang around at like 15, 20 seconds slower than your easy pace. Is this a new map? I confess, I don't normally pay massive amounts of attention to either this is a new map or in its existing one we're doing in reverse, or one I just haven't done much of. It's a short one though, so oh well. There's no one really to answer that question for me, so I'll just get back into rowing. So, one thing that's been weirdly playing on my mind this week, after I got like 3 or 4 emails all covering the same basic question, which was along the lines of, I rowed along with you for 30 minutes, followed your stroke rate. You said you went 7,750 meters. I only managed 6,000. I did exactly the same amount of strokes as you. My lever was at the same position. Why didn't I go as far? And so, because this is only the 4th, 5th of these sunset rows, and there's a chance that out of the 30 odd people watching on YouTube right now, or listening or whatever, you may not have heard me say this before. I'll say it now. It's not about the machine. It's about you. So it's about the power you put into the machine. It's not like a spin bike where it's just about how many times the wheel turns. That's how it calculates your watts. In rowing, it's a bit more complicated than that. So I'm trying to think, because obviously it still is about how much the fan turns, but because it's got this drag factor element too, it's not as direct, where like on a spin bike, one turn of the pedal would mean you're crossing, like you're traveling 1 meter, say. Whereas here, when rowing, I don't know what my distance per stroke is, but let's say, hang on, take a guess. Looks to be about 12 meters per stroke right now, at 20 strokes a minute. If I increase the power but hold the stroke rate, hang on, 18, that went up to 15 meters per stroke. Didn't go any faster for stroke rate. I just put more of a push with my legs. So that's the key when it comes to rowing. It's about the power you put in. It's not just if you row at 20 strokes a minute, you will travel 200 meters. It's not how it works. Because I can also go real easy like this, and that's, hang on, 22, 10 meters per stroke by taking it easy. Understand that? I hope so. Oh, sprint again. Getting ready for this. 2 more strokes. I'll do that short sprint again. You ready? After this one, let's go. Remember to push with the legs. Try to still keep this about rowing this time round. Which actually I was a fair bit slower because even though I increased the power, this is the other side to it, where if you increase your stroke rate as well, that helps you go faster. That said, what am I at? 2:10 pace right now, but I can got to 32 strokes a minute, 35, putting no power in, and go a lot slower. So it's not just about stroke rate either. It's about power and stroke rate for really increasing your pace. So I can increase my stroke rate with the same kind of perceived push of my legs. Let's try that. So I wouldn't say I was pushing any harder here, but because I've gone from 20 to 29 strokes a minute, I'm going 10 seconds faster. And then what that does is it's the opposite of pushing harder at the same rate, where pushing harder but holding stroke rate means you're adding more muscles into your rowing, and therefore that's how your pace increases. Or if you keep the power the same but increase the stroke rate, you go faster. That makes sense. If I was doing 10 meters per stroke at 20 strokes a minute, and then I increased it to 10 meters per stroke at 28, and I'm doing 8 more strokes per minute, which is an extra 80 meters that I'd be rowing. So that's the thing. It's about how you control the machine. It's not about what drag factor you set it to, although that can make a difference, especially on those fast sprints. If you have a high drag factor and then row at a very high stroke rate, like 40 and above, the flywheel doesn't get a chance to slow down as much, and so doesn't feel as heavy as it would have at a slower stroke rate. that make sense? Because basically, if you row at a slower stroke rate, because the fan has more time to slow down, it takes more effort to get up to speed, because you have to move more air out of the way because it's a high drag factor, more air gets in. In the same way that at a low drag factor, you can absolutely power into the machine. It'll take a lot longer to slow down, so you can really hold those low rates at high power and really fine-tune your technique that way. It's the end of the third lap. Yeah. So I guess we'll have one more sprint to go. Don't know if we'll manage to make it round, like just to make it round for 2 more sprints. Oh. But you know what? I'll go right back to what I said at the beginning, where all my talk about pace and stuff only matters if that's what interests you. Maybe you're just here for a good half-hour steady endurance row. So my heart rate right now is 138, which is zone 3 according to EXR. Then it has zone 2 finishing at 125. I think, I mean, I'm not saying I'm not in zone 3, but I also think it's a bit, I have to check what my max heart rate settings are in this app. But yeah, so maybe you're just taking it easy and power is not what you're about, but I still want you to think about technique, about keeping the arms straight as you push your legs in to let that power come up. I mean, take a look at your elbows. Are they straight as you push your legs, or do you see an early bend? Because an early bend just robs power from you. You can see from my pace. Okay, let's try a high rate, high power sprint this time. One more stroke. Let's go. Your handle away, how fast you can get it really does help with the higher rates. Still a good second slower than the first time we did that, or I did that. If you've been joining me on the sprints, let me know how you got on. And of course, let me know, as much as I'm talking technique and things, if you spot something in me that you think I should change, I'm all ears. I'm always a work in progress. And of course, if you want to send a video of you rowing to me, I film it kind of the same way I film these, then please do, and I'll give you a totally free technique checkup. No strings. I'll just tell you what I think could be improved, or if You're absolutely knocking it out the park. Whew. So, where are we? We're about 4 minutes to go. So I'll say now, before I run out of time, that as summer is approaching, I'm taking a 3-week break from making these. Just being at it, apart from a high rocks, I think, or a couple of high rockses. What did I do? Glasgow, London, Malaga, so 3. So apart from 3, I've been doing this solidly every Sunday since December. So the next 3 weeks, I'm going to be elsewhere. So I think I return on, it'll be the 21st July, so keep an eye out. And I mean, there's loads more other group rows happening here on EXR, or you could just load up one of my previous live rows, or remember, I've got well over 400 RowAlong workouts on my RowAlong YouTube channel for you to check out and row along to. So if you're missing this kind of row along thing, then just go to or search YouTube for RowAlong, click on the videos tab or the playlists tab, and you'll find something to keep you entertained, I'm sure. It's also going to be the end of pretty strict eating regime for me. Not particularly a diet. It's a don't eat rubbish, which if all you're eating is healthy food, that shouldn't be called a diet. It should just be called sensible eating. So the main thing is no added sugar, no sweets or biscuits or anything like that. No alcohol. Basically just lunch, which is usually chicken noodles or chicken and salad wrap or something, and then dinner, which is often like pasta, or tonight it's scampi and vegetables. So I still eat normally, I just don't eat rubbish. And trust me, alcohol and rubbish, cut that out of your eating and exercise 5 times a week for half an hour. If you're looking to lose weight, that's how you do it. Don't need to watch calories. You just need to stop snacking and eating rubbish and not fool yourself into thinking, oh, 1 biscuit won't matter, because it will. Right. We are not going to make this sprint, so as I get to 15 seconds to go, I'm just going to sprint for fun. So here I go. See if I can at least make the sprint. Oh, fatigue has set in. Oh. It's funny how, like, you think about the first sprint, and how, what was I, 17 and a half seconds, and then as I went through that half hour and fatigue set in, not just from being tired from the row, but dehydration rowing in the sun, I just couldn't hold the pace anymore. So always remember, your body has a bowl of power, okay? It's a fluid bowl of power. And when you work out, it's like Garmin's body battery, think about it, but trademark them, so my bowl of power. And so when you go in a roll like that, you're draining your bowl of power. But also, the more time that goes on, and dehydration sets in, the thicker the kind of fluid power is. Stay with me here. And so the harder it is to kind of get into your fuel system, okay? So dehydration kind of clogs things up, so you can't quite get the fuel in there. So if you stay hydrated, it's able to kind of, it's like the oil in an engine, right? So my bowl of power is like petrol in a petrol tank, and being hydrated is like the oil in an engine. If you don't have the oil in there, then it can't happen, all right? So there we go. So CBDB did a perfect 5K, fantastic, well done. That's what we want to hear. And hopefully all of the rest of you that have been rowing in this one today did whatever you were planning to do. I mean, these ones, like I say, I just tend to just row them slow with a little bit of sprint because I don't want to put any kind of pressure on you. It's the same as the scenic rowing that I do when I go out into lochs and I just film it for an hour or so going up and down. I don't tend to put any kind of guidance for how to row them because I want you to just sit down and say, right, today I'm going to do, like I put up a 20-minute one today, which is perfect for a 5K. Or there's like a 58-minute one, which if you want to do a long zone 2 or whatever, then it's perfect for that, but you make the decision. It's not like, especially for if you're doing it on YouTube, it doesn't change pace with you. I'm sure, I don't know if on Kino Map, possibly, if you go faster, there's a good chance it might go faster. I'm not too sure how Kino Map works for that. But if you have Kino Map, then yeah, it's there. iFaucet says another lovely 30 minutes. Fantastic. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Matthew Isaac says, cheers, John. Kept me honest. Another one against the folk. Yeah. Thanks and have a nice day, Sunday evening. For me, a nice shower, beer, whirlpool, and watching football. Oh, see, apart from the beer, I've got non-alcoholic beer, so yeah, whirlpool sounds nice. I'm trying to convince my wife to let me get a hot tub. It's never going to happen. It's a perfect, the stage in the corner of the garden where I used to do the rows. I just kind of thought that'd be perfect for like one of these pergola things, or pergola or pagoda, whatever they are, and then like a hot tub underneath. It'd be perfect for that. But they're quite pricey, and it's Scotland, so, and also quite expensive from an electricity point of view. So if anybody works for a hot tub company and wants to give me a free one, or a solar panels company, maybe that would work as well. Who knows? Anyway, right, there we go. I'm done. I'm going to go pack everything away because I can't leave it all sitting out here. And then I'm going to go and start cooking the scampi and veggies for our dinner, which is going to be quite nice. Maybe we'll have it out in the sun if it stays like this. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? So thank you so much for joining me. And this one, it really does mean a lot that you kind of give up your half an hour or an hour or so, whatever of your day, to join me on these. And the fact that 78 of us all did it together is absolutely amazing. EXR really is leading the way when it comes to these kind of things. And if you haven't noticed, they were just about to launch their own rowing machine as well. Isn't that quite cool? It's like the RP3 Dynamic and water rower combined. Isn't that weird? It's like a fluid water drum at the back that has that dynamic thing where you stay in place and you push the machine away from you. It looks really cool. Do check out on the EXR website. So CBDB is off, so I'm going to say goodbye to you. Sin Adams is my first EXR group row. Thank you guys. Fantastic. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, so anyway, I'm going to say goodbye as well because CBDB is gone, so why would I stay? Yeah, and the sound of all the lawnmowers reminds me I should really mow my lawn. So thank you so much for joining me in this one. I will see you at the end of July, so do keep an eye out on the EXR website for when these come back, and also, of course, my socials, because I'll post and say when it's coming back. But like I say, the weekend of the 15th of July, I am still not doing it, but the weekend after that, wherever it is, so the 21st, wherever it is, okay? So until then, please look after yourselves. Have a fantastic summer, fantastic few weeks. Make sure and put on suntan cream, all that stuff, and if you go on holiday, be safe, and enjoy, whatever, send me a postcard. Yeah, and look after yourselves. So I'm going to say goodbye, but then I've got to do this whole kind of clicking, and my computer's miles away for actually doing this. So when I get cramp, so if I hit stop streaming here and it comes up with a do I want to? So of course I do want to, because I'm saying goodbye. So thank you so much for joining me. I will see you in the next one. Have an amazing time for the next few weeks, and I will see you soon, all right?